What's going on, guys? It's Heath Marmor, NONSTOP Progress.
What's going on, everybody? It's Eric Leonard with GBA Ethos, and we're going to be talking about the
4 secrets to becoming a professional footballer.
I've got Heath Martin from NONSTOP Progress joining me today.
With Eric Leonard, one of my teammates for Forward Madison FC. Drop a like on this video if you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Alright, so we got the first secret for success, which is the 4 pillars of being a complete footballer. They are tactical, technical, physical, and the mental side of the game.
Yeah. So the tactical side of the game, of course, is your ability to study the game and understand basically where you need to be positionally on the field, where your teammates are, what your responsibilities are as a left back, center back, midfielder, whatever position you play. Basically, that comes with experience, studying the game, watching the game, and really analyzing players in the top levels in your position. Moving off of that is the technical side of the game is obviously your first touch, how good you are with the ball at your feet. Technically, can you ping a long pass? Can you play a cross in with your left, right foot? Can you finish the ball? Can you finish the ball with different surfaces of your foot? Can you receive difficult weighted balls? And these types of things are definitely going to be able to help or debilitate your ability as a footballer. And I believe that we're both in agreement that those will definitely help to enhance or can prevent you from becoming a professional.
Yeah, and I think those really feed into nicely to the physical and mental side, right? In order to have the physical and mental side, you definitely need to start with the technical and tactical side. But once you get into the physical side of the game, there are so many different components as a footballer that you need to think of, right? If you start with position, a forward's physical condition will be a lot different than a defender, than a goalkeeper, than a midfielder, right? If you're an outside mid, you need to be good on the ball, technically sharp. If you're a defensive midfielder like me, you need to be able to be strong, have a tight core, and you need to learn how to tackle. You need to be willing to understand each position, and that comes with the physical side and even going more into the nutrition aspect, which we'll touch on later. And then the mental side of things is, the best way I can explain it is, how well can you control your emotions when things hit the fan? How well can you control your attitude when you're not playing, when you aren't playing well, when you're in a funk? And probably, I don't know if you'd agree, but the mental side can sometimes be one of the hardest parts of being a successful footballer.
Yep,
so
70% of it's in your mind. The psychological side of the game is probably one of the toughest things to be able to be good at.
Absolutely. And those are the 4 pillars, and that's success number 1. The second secret for success of becoming a professional footballer is consistency. Now, anyone who's watched any of my videos at GBA Ethos knows that I'm all about the grind. And essentially, that's what consistency is. What are you doing every day to get better, to become one step closer to your dream? For us as soccer players, that means eating right every single day. That means putting in the work on the field during practice and off the field. If you're not playing, what are you doing to get yourself not only physically prepared, but mentally prepared? I've talked about this a little bit in some of my past videos, but every day when I wake up, I open up my notebook and I write day, whatever, and I say, one step closer to my next goal. That's consistency. What are you doing every day to get one step closer to your end goal? And consistency will have its ups and downs, right? It's never going to be an easy journey. It's never going to be a straight path. But one of the ways you become a professional footballer is by staying true to who you are on the field and off the field. And that means staying consistent with your diet, your work habits, everything that you need to do to be the best version of yourself when you step on the field.
All right, guys, so the third secret to becoming a professional footballer is going to have to be discipline, right? So I talk about this all the time on my channel, and being disciplined really comes down to, are you sleeping at the right time? Are you eating the right foods? And are you watching the game? Can you take constructive criticism the correct way? Are you really able to take things and apply yourself in the right context to help yourself elevate to becoming a professional footballer? Making sure that you are eating the right foods and making sure that you're putting the right foods in your body on a consistent basis, going back to the second pillar, consistency, but disciplining yourself to not eat the foods that you want to eat for pleasure, but eating foods for performance. Sleeping is so important because as a professional footballer, you need to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep every single night, maybe even more if you're growing. The most important thing here is really just disciplining yourself to go to bed at the right time. And a lot of players sometimes get complacent and they don't go to bed at the right times, and they don't discipline themselves and kind of parent themselves to turn off their electronics and to turn off their phones and their distractions and really get the sleep they need. So the last thing that has to do with discipline is taking taking constructive criticism and really analyzing your game to become better. So when a coach tells you off and he's trying to constructively criticize your game, are you able to take that positively and kind of discipline yourself to help that improve your game and become coachable? Or are you shutting them out and really becoming closed-minded and not growing from the situation? Like I said before, discipline is really important, and it's the third reason and the secret to becoming a professional soccer player.
So the fourth secret for becoming a professional footballer is networking. Now, if you've heard or talked to any professional footballer, you know that it does not come down to getting a contract put in front of your face. There's a lot more that goes into it, and one of the first things is networking. You need to be able to reach out to your coaches. You need to be able to go to combines. You need to put your face in front of other people so they learn who you are. My route was a little different. I went the college route, so that meant that I had to go to combines all around the country. I went to colleges that were in different conferences from one another. I went to smaller schools, I went to larger schools. At the end of the day, one of the reasons that I became a collegiate athlete and then going into professional football is because I put my name in front of as many coaches as possible. Now, there's a couple ways that you can do this, but one of the best ways to start is by taking out a piece of paper, writing down 10 schools that you want to go to, right? You write your 10 schools down, then you need to do the research. Networking isn't just writing the schools down and reaching out to the coaches. You need to find their emails, you need to find their phone numbers, you need to find out if they have people in your position at the time. There's so many things that go into networking, and it comes down to taking the time, and that goes with consistency and discipline, which match our other pillars. But once you find your 10 schools, you reach out to them, you find the school that you want to go to. For me, that ended up being Butler. I ended up going to Butler. I played there for 4 years, and while I was at Butler, my networking continued. It didn't stop just in college, but when I was at Butler, I had to figure out what is my next step. Well, my next step is I want to play pro, so that's when my next path of networking started. I started to reach out to USL teams, USL League 2 teams. I started to reach out to teams overseas, right? At the end of the day, I knew that if I wanted to play professional soccer, it came down to how many doors was I going to open for Eric Leonard to be noticed, right? And that's where I got to today.
So I didn't go to college, but as you know, I just went straight pro from high school. Basically what I did was I signed with an agent right out of high school. I sent around 1,000 emails to agents, and my networking experience has just been sending and cold calling emails, eventually going to combines, the AX soccer combines, networking myself through there, connecting with coaches on LinkedIn. I sent probably around 4,000 to 5,000 requests to connect on LinkedIn, and eventually I connected with a whole bunch of coaches that ended up coming to the combines and watching me, and through LinkedIn and through AX Soccer Tours, I was able to sign my first professional contract. But like me and Eric have been talking about, it really comes down to networking and getting yourself out there to coaches, because they're not going to come to you, you got to go to them. Really the most important thing with networking is really just getting yourself out there and getting yourself known.
So there you have it, guys. Those are the 4 secrets to becoming a professional footballer. Remember the first one being the 4 pillars of the technical, tactical, physical, and mental side of things, both on and off the field. And then the second one for me was big because it was consistency. How consistent are you with your habits? Not only every day, but consistency to yourself and your dreams and your grind to be the best version of yourself.
And the last 2 being discipline and networking, being disciplined enough to take control of your own development and getting better, and also networking and getting yourself out there and getting your name out there to coaches, because they're not going to come to you. And so I think that this video is definitely going to add a lot of value to a lot of young players out there that are trying to become professionals. It's really going to shine a light on the realism around how and what it takes to get there.
Do us both a favor, make sure you guys like the video, make sure you subscribe to NONSTOP Progress and GBA Ethos, and we'll see you guys again. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video.
Peace, guys.